Hello, Bruce.
MJ, how you doing, man?
Bruce, I'm actually well rested today. I've been tired the last week, but today I am well rested. I will say
You might
that.
be the only one. You might be the only one that is well invested between us.
I might be the only one. It's
Yeah,
possible.
dude, it's been a long week. It's been a long week for me, man. Like we got basketball's going in full swing right now. Ooh, ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You're
Got a
right.
little caffeine. Got
What
a
am
little
I
coffee.
doing? What am I doing? I'm already messing up the start of the show.
There it
All right.
is.
There it is. Now it's official. Let's
There we
start.
go. First of all, hello to everybody in chat. Richie wants me to start off with that horrendous Luca take. No, he says if he doesn't want me to. We'll get to that later. We're gonna start.
Wow, already. Okay,
I'm already
let's
getting
hold on.
attacked.
Let's
We're gonna start with, getting acquainted with how Bruce and I are doing today, because I know
Yes.
everybody in chat really cares about Bruce and I's personal lives. And then we'll do Super Bowl, and then we'll get to NBA in a little bit. So don't worry, Richie. We're not getting going right away. I'm not gonna piss you off right away.
Hey, I like Richie. I like Richie. Richie and I actually agree with this take with
Yeah.
regards to Luka.
I get
So
it.
thanks,
Whatever.
Richie. Good looking out, brother. I appreciate that.
So
So real
Bruce,
quick,
your last week. How have you been? How's life?
life's good, man. It's a grind right now. We are currently in basketball season, and with COVID now, it's different. So one of the things I did want to talk to you about, I had a double overtime thriller this week.
Really?
Double
Give me the
over
details. Break it down.
double overtime thriller. So one of the things, yeah, you too, brother. I like you too, Sean. I like you too, bro. Come on. But no, we had a double overtime thriller. Unfortunately, we were unable to pull that game out. We weren't able to win it. We lost by 2. But at the same time, there's obviously always growth in games like that. But that's not the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it or bring it up. I did want to bring up the uniqueness of how we determine. First of all, there's no jump balls to start the game.
Really?
Away team gets the ball because they want to try to take away the amount of people in the same area, even though we are boxing out. And we're not going to get into that because I don't want to get in trouble with my job.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then, so to deter, but the funny thing is, though, you obviously know how high school basketball works when it comes to possession. If you're holding the ball or two players from opposing teams are holding the ball, it's a jump ball, and it's possession arrow. Exactly.
Yeah.
See, this is the slowness of my reactions. You said that, and I yeah.
Bruce is tired.
Anyway,
it's okay.
So tired. So to deter, so go to the possession arrow when you want to determine who gets the ball in per quarter. Even that's how it works.
Right.
Not in overtime. So to start in overtime, the ref brings over both coaches and they flip a coin.
Why can't? It
should be possession arrow. Why not be possession arrow? Why would you flip a coin to determine it?
Well, I guess because that's not how they start the game, and overtime is like a new game.
So you know how they start the game? They start the game with the opposing team or visiting team gets the ball first.
Right. So
and then the possession arrow
home team get the ball first if it's.
No, because it all depends on the possession arrow, because the possession arrow switches at each end of the quarter or half.
Then the possession arrow should just keep.
It should be possession arrow, but instead they end up just saying, "Screw it, we're gonna flip a coin." So it was pretty funny because I ended up saying for the to start the first overtime, the coach I actually know fairly well. I actually told him, I'm like, "Hey man, so I actually bet on the Super Bowl coin flip, and I didn't lose."
You got heads.
I did. By the way, I did. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get
impressive.
to my we'll get to my not only our Super Bowl talk, but I'll also talk to you about the bets that I won and the bets that I lost.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, I actually won more, but
that's good.
Someone got greedy. But anyway, so I was talking. My way of talking shit to the coach, friendly, was walking away saying "tails never fails" as the ref flipped the coin, and bam, it was tails.
Nice.
But we still ended up losing. But yeah, that's how everything's been going. Everything's been going well, man. Everything's been going good. No complaints.
I like it. We are finally out of quarantine at Bradley, which is
Congratulations, you can go drink. Wait, no, you can't.
no, actually, well, I'm not allowed to drink, but they did lift the restriction that because there are still a lot of restrictions in the Peoria area. Basically, they were like, if you can find somewhere that's open to eat, you can go eat there. Was pretty
Nice.
much what they said. So that was different and new and nice. But we had only 3 positive cases out of like the first 1,000 tests we did the first 2 weeks. So I was going to be very mad if we were not pulled out of quarantine, which really wasn't even quarantine. It was just you couldn't be in each other's rooms. So it was nice we got that restriction lifted on Tuesday. So the last 3 days have been our first 3 days of freedom in a very long time because I had been here for 3 weeks.
I bet you those 3 days of seeing the girlfriend were great.
Oh! I won't lie. Yeah, of course it was nice to see her. Bruce.
See her.
Yeah, weirdo.
Is
Yeah,
that what the
weirdo
kids
Bruce
call it these
Males.
days?
May I remind you, you said mommy fiance to one of
Hey.
our friends and colleagues.
Hey, it's
Hey,
okay.
hey now.
Don't be upset. Don't be upset because you enjoyed the time that you had with the lady.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Got to keep the missus happy.
I don't know what you were. Hey, happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, so Super Bowl. I told
Yes.
you I am going to keep my comments very short and very sweet because I've spent a lot of time the last 3 weeks ripping on Tom Brady, and I don't want to. I don't want to get going again. Blood pressure can't handle it today.
You get so upset.
We've already, and
TikTok
okay,
loves
I will
it.
start. Oh, you right. They found another one of my videos today. It's gotten another like 100 comments in the last few hours. It's been a great time. So I will preface this by saying once again, I do not hate Tom Brady. He's a great dude. His kids love him. His teammates love him. I have nothing against him as a human, and 100% he is one of the greatest human beings to ever touch a football and ever throw a football, and I will never deny that. I don't enjoy how the debate.
And throw trophies.
Yeah, you right. That was.
I loved
that
it. I loved
terrified
it.
me. Did you
I
see how
loved
drunk
it.
he was?
Oh, it was great. You know, you
Florida
think
man.
the TB12, you think the TB12 diet was cheated on a little bit there?
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. But I loved it though, honestly. And I know I'm totally breaking away from your
That's
the
okay.
seriousness of the comments that you were about to make about Tom Brady, but I loved it and appreciated the fact that he was able to break away from the dark side and be able to be his own guy and hang out, have drinks, like Gronk, be Gronk. He was
Literally.
a little Gronky. Let's say that he was a little Gronky. Nothing wrong
was.
with being a little Gronky.
I was
Like
proud of him.
Broke it down through the trophy. There was a video that came up on the internet too about his daughter yelling in the background, "Daddy, no!" when he threw the trophy.
Oh no.
But good for him, though. Good for him. Like he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, though, if that was his first trophy, his ass wouldn't have thrown that damn thing.
Oh no, not for sure. It's his 7th. He doesn't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
Could you imagine if it would have dropped it?
I mean Gronk dented the one with a baseball in a batting cage at the Red Sox game. So like, those
don't.
two have a history of destroying the Super Bowl trophy. And realistically,
don't.
it's not that hard to make a new one. Like they'd be just fine. Let's be honest. But
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
here's what I have to say. Did everybody know that Tom Brady was going to win that Super Bowl MVP? Yes.
Oh,
People are, because for the most part, it's just fans voting. So, yeah, are the fans going to vote for Tom Brady? Probably. Given the comments I've gotten on TikTok recently, I'm not surprised. But here's the thing. The fact that the Tampa Bay defense held Patrick Mahomes to 9 points. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs defense. Number one, that credit goes to Todd Bowles, who has not had the opportunity to have a head coaching job since the New York Jets. I think he deserves another shot at a head coaching gig because he did what has not been done to Patrick Mahomes since he was under 14 years old. Since Patrick Mahomes started playing football in high school his freshman year, His team has scored a touchdown every single game. High school, college, pros. Todd Bowles shut down the man that has been undefeatable almost since his freshman year of high school, going into college, coming into the NFL. So first of all of the credit in the world to Todd Bowles in that defense. Number two, when Tom Brady throws for 201 yards and the Bucs rush for 145, I'm sorry, but it doesn't impress me. Did he do what he needed to do to win the game? Yes, but is he the biggest reason they won that football game? No, not at all. Not at all. He is not the biggest reason they won that football game. You want to know why? His offensive line protects him. And this is going to segue me perfectly into one of our new little things that we can do. I want to let everybody see while I'm talking in the next couple minutes what Patrick Mahomes had to deal with when he was running around the other day. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to show you guys what we can do now. So Patrick Mahomes, this is video of Patrick Mahomes for 1.5 minutes running around for his life. He ran 456 yards behind the line of scrimmage on Sunday in the Super Bowl. If you want to sit here and tell me that you think Tom Brady wouldn't have been able to win that football game behind that Chiefs offensive line, I would love to have what you're smoking, because that just physically would not happen. The man does not have that type of skills. So obviously, Tom Brady did what he needed to do. Defense puts him in good positions. He takes advantage of it. Gronk with 2 very easy touchdowns. Antonio Brown with an amazing route, schooling Tyrann Mathieu that he was not even supposed to run. I don't know if you saw that. Antonio Brown was not supposed to run that route. He ran the wrong route. But it worked, right? So when you shut down a team like that, the defense gets the credit, in my opinion. Yes, Tom Brady and that offense put up a lot of points. I'm proud of them. But the defense won that football game. And if you don't acknowledge that, I don't know what to tell you. Because on the stat sheet, Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns. But, you know, everything else that football team did as a whole contributed more to that game than Tom Brady did.
Again,
that's all I have to say.
You cannot take away the fact that the quarterback position is the most nuanced position in the NFL, or in all team sports. That being said, I do think Aaron Rodgers would have been able to do the same. So hypothetically, we'll just say this, because I know your Homer ass is gonna take it.
I will let the record show. I did not bring up Aaron Rodgers. I was not going to bring up Aaron Rodgers. Bruce brought this up.
100%. But so one of the things I actually was taking a look at, I was looking at cases for Tom Brady as being the best to ever play.
Okay.
And I was just going through some articles, just trying to look through them, and not even to have an argument, just because I was just curious. I was at work, and I was during a course of time where I had some downtime, so I was I'll take a look at these. So this article was back in 2012, where they were already asking, and that was 9 years ago. They were already asking if he was the best ever.
Which I will give you, at that point, it was a fair conversation. I'm not saying it's not a fair conversation.
How would it not be a fair conversation now?
No, I never said it wasn't. I'm saying at that point, yes, it was a fair conversation. Even more so now. Again, I will say I just don't like how the debate is framed, but I like where you're going, actually looking at numbers. When you only put it down to rings, I don't like that.
No, and that's fair. And it was actually really interesting seeing what he did. Well, you can't you have to add some of the aspect to rings too. Hold on, real quick. Let's touch on that.
No, for sure. I think that is a component, but there have been NFL players to win 5-6 rings.
There's a leader. Okay, but no, and you're right. And I know what you're saying, because you could be like the Robert Horry of freaking the NFL.
Exactly.
So no, and I totally understand that. But at the same time, though, I actually think that there's a leadership aspect that Tom Brady, it's a Brady effect, is what I was calling it. There is such a thing as a Brady effect. And yes, because of the fact you already mentioned and touched on how he came into a situation with an awesome football team with skill positions that were freaking loaded, and if they weren't loaded, they're pulling more people in. An offensive line that was stacked because they drafted a tackle, but because they knew they were.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Tristan Wirfs, the
Yeah.
rookie, the
So
rookie
right. So
tackle.
that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
So they knew that they were going to go. So they're building around him because
yeah,
his leadership ability. And while no, he may not be currently the most talented quarterback in the NFL, because in my opinion, that's Patrick Mahomes, despite the
yeah,
fact that Aaron Rodgers won the MVP this year, which by the way, I totally agreed with.
yeah.
I just think that there is, like I said, a thing called the Brady effect because of the amount of leadership and the things he brings to the team and the belief that he brought to that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team led them to win that ass whooping of a Super Bowl. And by the way, Todd Bowles should totally deserve a shit ton of credit for deciding that playing the deepest to deepest, widest to widest with their DBs to make sure that Tyreek Hill wasn't going to go off for 200 yards receiving like he did the first time that they ended up
Yep.
facing him. And Travis Kelce was absolutely blanketed as well. So, in my opinion, I actually think they should have ran the ball more and tried to establish the run.
I
But
agree.
there's things that, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
some jackass drinking a beer talking to you on Twitch. But that being said, though, is Tom Brady the best ever? The best ever, in my opinion, at the quarterback position. When you add up all the intangibles that Tom Brady brings to the table, in my opinion, think that Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time.
Okay.
Only because of he brings intangibles that may not be as athletic as, I'll say, Michael Vick, as the best throwing
Lamar
off
Jackson.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, all that stuff. Like, well, no, I'm just saying in general, like
Yeah.
all
Yeah. Yeah.
time. So in my opinion, like I said, I just think that he brings everything to the table that you want from a quarterback. And the fact that the dude is 43 years old with like his ligaments barely holding on and still able to freaking sling the ball. And the fact that he got up in Tyrann Mathieu's face and he's like, hey, man. And I love that. I love that competitiveness.
I mean, Matthew started it, but yeah.
Truth, right. But I love the fact that he walked back up to him and was like, dude, like, shut up.
Okay,
I'm sure he said
that's
something
just
aloud.
being an athlete, bro. Like,
Well, right, but
if somebody gets in your face, you get back in there. That's not special.
how many 43-year-olds? But how many 43-year-olds do you see being able to like not only talk shit but also have the contributions that he does?
So my only response to that will be, I am absolutely fine with you saying he takes the offense to another level. His leadership, his intelligence. The guy can read a defense, top 5 ever, 100%. I think, as like you said, it's kind of hard. It's really hard to measure intangibles, right? So is he the best to ever read a defense? I don't know. It's really hard to figure that out, right? I'd probably go Peyton Manning over Brady, but that's just my initial instinct. The part that really bothers me is where people come in and say I'm going to use your words, but I'm not attacking you. The Brady effect in relation to the defense. Brady doesn't play defense. He is not on defense. If you're telling me that those guys are only one of the top defenses in the NFL because Brady yells at them on the sideline or makes them work a little bit harder, that's BS and we all know it. They were the 6th ranked defense in points contributed last year, which kind of takes it takes the offensive impact on the defense out of it. So when you look at points contributed, it's solely looking at the defense, taking out of context the offensive production of that team. How did the defense do? The Bucs were the 6th ranked defense in the NFL looking at that last year. What were they this year? They were actually higher. They were 3rd in points contributed, 6th overall. You want to know why the Bucs defense looked better than they were last year? Because Jameis Winston wasn't there throwing 30 for 30, being in his own ESPN special. So
you can't like. I mean,
but I
go ahead, continue. I'll let you go.
If I was a defensive player on the Bucs and I heard people saying that their defense was only good because Tom Brady showed up, I would be livid, beyond imagining. Does he help a little bit? Does he maybe make them work harder? Sure. But any good leader does that. That is not inherent to Tom Brady. He is not a god. He does not walk in and magically make those defensive players be incredible. He didn't walk in and make Jason Pierre-Paul be one of the best pass rushers in the league this year. He didn't walk in and make Devin White and Levante David magically the fastest linebackers the NFL has seen in 20 years. No, they were really, really good last year. The problem is they were on the field so freaking much. So you put anyone in that position that has the ability to throw 40 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, which was done a lot this year. You put Josh Allen in that position, they win the Super Bowl.
All right, so with that argument that you just gave me, if you gave the Chicago Bears a legitimate quarterback, all of a sudden they'll be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I'm not saying quarterback isn't important. I'm saying giving Tom Brady credit the defense on that team needs to get incredible credit. You give Tom Brady,
No, I don't
you
disagree.
even give Tom Brady the Green Bay Packers defense. He doesn't win the Super Bowl. I don't care what you say. He's not going to magically make Kevin King learn how to jump. He's not going to magically make the Chicago Bears learn how to play better offense.
Detail. You can't use you can't. I don't think you can use that as an argument though. Hold on.
I'm just honestly curious, Bruce. You played more sports than I did. You've coached a lot of sports, right? So I don't understand how Tom Brady walking into the building, and maybe this is just me not playing enough sports, but I don't understand how Tom Brady walking into the building makes the defense play better on the field. Like, I understand he's a leader. So
100%.
Because he's Tom Brady.
Because there's a leadership aspect that anybody brings to it's like the same. Okay, so why?
I would love to watch you walk up to Shaq Barrett and say you only won the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady. You guys only shut down Patrick Mahomes and held him to 9 points because of Tom Brady. I would love to watch you say that. I would love to have you tell Shaq Barrett that.
I'm totally okay with it. I would totally say it. I'm like, if it was any other quarterback in that position, I guarantee you that Tom. Yes, no, hold on. Before you go there, hold on 1 second. I want to ask you a question real quick. I'm going to read off stats for you. Let me read off stats for you real quick. Okay. Oh, close them out. So real quick, 4,633 yards passing.
Yep.
Okay. 40 touchdowns.
12 interceptions.
12 interceptions. Okay. That was done by a man that is 43 years old, and that was his 5th best season of all time.
Okay.
There's credit where credit is due, my man.
I'm not taking any credit away from Tom Brady. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I literally said this, Bruce. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best to ever freaking touch a football. Okay? Did he make the Buccaneers better? Yes, but did he magically transform them into a Super Bowl contender? No.
Yes, 100%.
No.
You know why? Because if it wasn't for Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers, they don't draft a tackle. They don't end up going out and get Fournette. They're not going to go out and go get Antonio Brown. They're not going to go get the pieces that they end up getting. My point is,
you put any other Hall of Fame quarterback in this situation, same thing happens. Tom Brady does not make their defense. The only thing they did different on defense this year was Antoine Winfield as a safety. Really good safety. Did they draft Antoine Winfield because they knew Tom Brady was coming? No.
Of course not. Well, no. Okay, so we'll jump to that. We'll jump to the thought process that you're asking about with defense. So defensively, in the leadership aspect that you speak of, yes, of course. As soon as if there's somebody with the reputation that walks into a room, you're going to want to be better because you know why you want to be better? Because of their reputation. And Tom Brady had a reputation of winning championships. So, of course, you're going to want to keep playing and then go off and do as well as you possibly can. So you're telling me, all right, I have a question for you. Here, we'll compare it like this. If an ESPN anchor will say Scott Van Pelt, if Scott Van Pelt comes on your show, let's say your show. If Scott Van Pelt comes on your show, and you see him, you're immediately going to want to do better and perform at a higher level. You know why? Because he has an inherent, as you would always say, an inherent ability to make people around him better and want to improve their performance. Is that accurate?
In a vacuum, yes.
Exactly, and it's a very similar situation that Tom Brady's providing to that whole football team. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that because of his background and because of who he is as a football player and as a leader, people are going to want to do better because he's a fucking stud.
and yes, I recognize all of that. And to the guy in the chat going off, this has nothing to do with me being a Packers fan. This will never have anything to do with me being a Packers fan. If Tom Brady hadn't beaten the Packers this season, if the Packers would have lost in the first round to the Rams, I still would have gone off on this because it drives me crazy how the debate is framed. Bruce, you bringing up stats, this being his 5th best season of all time at 43, I love that. That's the kind of conversation I want to have. But saying he is the greatest to ever play a position because of something that you cannot measure, if you really can't measure it, give me a Tampa Bay defensive player coming in saying, we won the Super Bowl only because of Tom Brady. No, they won that freaking Super Bowl because they held Patrick Mahomes, and the guy you said is the most talented person in the NFL right now to
100%.
9 points. That is
So
incredible.
was this
Tom Brady
was
did not. Tom Brady did not game plan on defense. Tom Brady did not go out
true?
there and cover Tyreek Hill. Okay, so if you want to give Tom Brady partial credit, well, yeah, no duh. He's the freaking quarterback of the team who won the Super Bowl. Of course he deserves credit, but he doesn't
Right.
deserve the credit for what the defense did. That is
So
BS.
okay, so all right, so that okay, so I was looking at it from a more macro like visual like perspective. So from a micro perspective from this particular game, I do 100% agree with you.
Well, yeah,
100% agree
I'm
with
not
you. You
saying
know,
that like obviously Tom Brady did a lot of things to bring them to the Super Bowl this year. No duh. The quarterback is the most important position on the field, 100%. But like when people say, "Oh, the defense wasn't good last year," no, the reason they're because people only look at like yards allowed when they look at defense. That's the worst metric to look at. So when you go on ESPN and rank defenses, Tampa Bay in 2019 came up as like 16th in yards allowed. You look at any other metric, and they were one of the top 5, top 10 defenses. They were again one of the top 5 or top 10 defenses this year. Really, the only thing that changed is their quarterback didn't throw 30 interceptions. So my point is, just on that alone, like obviously Tom Brady made the offense better. Jameis Winston was awful. There's a reason he's a backup in the NFL right now. Okay, when you replace a backup with a Hall of Fame quarterback, yeah, the offense gets a lot better. And when you bring in a Hall of Fame tight end and you bring in Antonio Brown, who is much of a psychopath as he is really talented, of course that offense is going to get better. I am not
okay.
denying that. My point is nobody's giving anybody else on the team credit, and that pisses me off because there are 52 other dudes on that team who've been working their butt off since they were 5 years old to become NFL players, and Tom Brady magically walks in and gets all of the credit. And that is BS. And I will
I
die
think
on that hill.
I think we're tangenting a little bit because I do think that I was like from a more like the micro perspective that I was looking at it from to your original point was I don't think they won that Super Bowl because of Tom Brady. They didn't. I think because from the macro aspect of it of him being on that team and the effects that he had by them being like, okay, we have a Hall of Fame player, as you just said, a Hall of Fame leader at the quarterback position, which is the most important position in the NFL. Their defense was stacked. Like I
Yeah.
totally agree with you 100% on that. Their defense was already stacked. They just needed a sufficient quarterback to put behind them or I'm sorry, in front of that offense.
And
So
the biggest, so like even on offense, they had 2 top 15 receivers coming into the year. They had a top 10 running back. Ronald Jones finished 12th in rushing yards this year. They had plenty of weapons on offense. Jameis Winston just kept screwing it up. So obviously, you give Tom Brady a good chunk of the credit for them getting to the playoffs. I think in the playoffs, he really didn't do much, to be perfectly honest. You can go through every game. He was not really impressive in any of those playoff games. Did he do what he needed to do to win the Super Bowl? Yes. And again, I will say this over and over again. Props to Tom Brady, greatest winner of all time. I don't think he is the most talented quarterback of all time by any means. If you want to say he's the greatest leader, go for it. I really don't care. But I just, it drives me crazy the level of disrespect to the rest of that football team when heralding Tom Brady on this pedestal, when wins are not a quarterback stat, and there are 52 other dudes on that team who have laid down their mind, body, and soul since April to make this happen.
do
That is the thing that bothers me the most.
you really think though that those guys on that team that posted like I'm sure you saw the same post I did with regards to all the players posting their things on social media saying like he's the GOAT, he's the reason why we won, like defensive players even putting
Okay.
that out there. So I don't necessarily think that he's actually done a very good job of being graceful and humble
Oh
with
yeah,
the
and again, I'm not
acceptance
saying
of
I'm not going
no,
after
no, I
him.
know that,
Again,
and
he's an amazing leader. He's an amazing teammate, amazing father, husband, person. Like I have nothing against him. I'm talking about I don't like how the national discussion is framed because you're just not looking at the entire football field with the arguments I'm seeing. May he be the greatest quarterback of all time? Sure, I'm not opposed to having that debate, but again, the way people have the debate pisses me off because they just throw 7 rings and stop arguing. And if you want to
right.
say he's top 2 in every all-time passing category, sure, I'll have that argument. I'll talk that talk, but nobody does. So
So
if you want to bring up your thing, you know, his 5th best season of all time, 4,600 yards, 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's really freaking good. That's
awesome.
really good. That's amazing. That is a top 50, top 25 probably all-time season as a quarterback. But I just don't like how the national discussion is framed.
That's fair. Okay. So, but you'll appreciate this too, though. So in 2019, according to DVOA, their defensive rankings for Tampa Bay, they were 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you brought that up, and I agree with that 100%. So I guess this might be actually like helping your argument a little bit. New England's was actually 1st.
Interesting. In 2019?
In 2019, the defensive DVOA for New England for the season in 2019 was 1st.
Yeah.
So
and he still didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
He lost to the Titans.
Yeah. And the Titans were just on a roll at that point. Like,
they ran the ball.
Yeah, they ran the ball
away from everybody.
And the last thing I'll say on this before I want to move on to some NBA talk is anybody, I will now defend the quarterback. People can get pissed at me if they want. I don't really care. Anybody who's blaming Patrick Mahomes for that loss,
they have no.
Is just ridiculous. I'll go back and I'll play this. I'll play this again while I say it. I'll play this again while I say it. The man ran what did I say? 476 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He had 5 offensive linemen. That offensive line combination had not been used in the 19 games before that this season. So some of the throws, like the 2 throws Patrick Mahomes made, one on the left sideline where his receiver almost caught it in the left corner of the end zone.
Oh, Pringle, when he spun around, he threw. Yeah, that was incredible.
And then the one, I think that's the one that's about to play right now, or just played. And then Pringle, and then the one where he's running to the right. And I think that's the one that's about to play right now
dives.
as well. And he is literally like
parallel
with the ground and flings it. And both times, the Pringle one I don't blame. The other one, it just drills his receiver in the face. So, I mean, the defense didn't do much to stop Tom Brady, and especially the running game. They ran 145 yards. They could have run much more if they wanted to. And then really just the incredible defensive game planning. Like you said, they got run over by Tyreek Hill the first game, and they were not going to let that happen again. The game planning was incredible. I wanted Patrick Mahomes to run more, honestly. He had 2 good scrambles at the beginning of that game, and it looked like after that, when he was scrambling, he was always looking downfield. He wasn't looking at the first down marker. And again, I don't want to criticize Patrick Mahomes. He's obviously much more talented than me. But, I mean, wow. That again, nobody's done that to Patrick Mahomes in his life.
So the only quarterback I could see being relatively, that's a key word in this statement, relatively successful during that game in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs would be Jackson. That's it.
I said that. I made a TikTok about that the other day.
Yeah, that is the only quarterback. Yep. You know why? Because you're
just run.
Exactly, just run.
You wouldn't have thought about passing.
Lamar Jackson would be the only person that would be like, oh shit, gotta run.
Let's do it. I do this all the time anyway.
Exactly. By the way, so real quick, before we shift gears to NBA talk, how the hell does Todd Bowles not have a job in the NFL, a head coaching job in the NFL?
Same thing about Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator. How do those dudes not have NFL head coaching jobs? And Bowles, I think he was in a bad situation. He coached the Jets. Rip. I honestly, if I was Bieniemy, Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator, would you want to leave? Like if Andy Reid's sitting there saying, in 2 or 3 years, I might retire, and this is I'm going to give you the keys to Patrick Mahomes.
What does he have? What
do you leave?
You think Reid's going to retire? Because I see him as like a football lifer.
I don't know. That's the only thing to me that would be stopping Bennett, because Bieniemy got interviewed. He didn't get any of the jobs. So I don't know. Is that him? Is that the people interviewing him? I don't know. But absolutely, Bowles and Bieniemy should have head coaching jobs. 100%.
Agree.
So, Bruce, I'll let you lead with this. I want to hear your MVP candidates in the NBA. We're a decent amount through the NBA season right now. I think it's a lot of teams have played a third of their schedule, a quarter of their schedule. Every for the most part, pretty much people have played at least 25 games. Um, so
So
if
you want my
they're
top 10? You want my top 10?
give me top five.
Top 5?
Yeah,
I'm done with that.
give me top five NBA MVP candidates.
All right. Joel Embiid.
Okay, is this in order?
Uh,
Or is this just top five?
I'll go in order.
Okay, so five
I'll go in
is
order. So Joel Embiid is 5.
okay.
With how the 76ers have been playing, they're number 1 in the East, while not as competitive as the West.
Yeah,
I just like what I've seen. And mind you, it's been limited times that I've like watched it
yeah,
or watched the 76ers play because obviously coaching basketball.
yep.
After Joel Embiid, I actually have Kevin Durant
Okay,
because he can still take over any game. And by the way, this is totally fluid.
that's okay.
This is a totally fluid list.
I like it. I like it.
I have Joel Embiid 5, Kevin Durant 4, um, yeah, Nikola Jokic, number 3. I actually really like his game.
He's so talented. The dude is a tank too.
Yes, your boy Luka. Yes, I said it. Your boy Luka at number 2, and at number 1, I have LeBron. Again,
Interesting.
LeBron's being LeBron, dog.
Interesting. So, the one I do I want to. I don't really want to go off on Luca right now.
Honestly, the one thing, no, it's fine. The only person that I struggled with, and I kind of like it was like the exchange in text that I had with you, was a Joel Embiid and Steph Curry. Because I do like Curry a lot too this year. He's been playing lights out, and he's been awesome. And that's not a surprise though. What's crazy is the fact that he's at the age he's getting up there in age
Yeah.
From a point guard standpoint, and he's still able to cross people up. He's so quick as all hell. I'm just waiting until he turns into like a Rip Hamilton type, running off of all sorts of screens.
Oh yeah.
Basically, he's gonna have Klay Thompson game.
Yeah, and that's the incredible thing is, whenever he gets to the point where he can no longer lead the offense, or he doesn't need to lead the offense if they get another ball dominant guy there. Like, heaven forbid they got a 3 or a point forward type that could, and honestly, he does this right now when Draymond Green leads their sets. He's basically running the Klay Thompson role, and that's why they were so dangerous when Klay's there. Is you have 2 guys doing that, and so when they're running those opposite screens to the outside, you got Dre in the middle. It's almost impossible to stop. Heaven forbid when Kevin Durant was there. Obviously, that's why they won so much. I mean, for me, it's, and we talked about this last week. I explained Luka's numbers with usage. He's still sitting at about 36% usage. Even Curry, with that shell of a Warriors team, is only about 31. So your usage rate is significantly higher. Even LeBron's isn't as high as Luka.
They need him. They need Luka to run, because who else is the Mavericks other than Porzingis? And wasn't he hurt?
Yeah, Porzingis had a meniscus thing at the beginning of the season.
So they needed that. But here, real quick, I'm looking. Let me look at. It's called Sports Betting Dime.
Okay.
Sports Betting Dime.
Give me the MVP odds right now.
So currently, right now, you won't like it. So currently, right now, actually, Luka Doncic is plus 825.
Okay.
LeBron is plus 78 or 278. Kevin Durant is plus 725. Nikola Jokic is plus 470. And Joel Embiid is plus 525.
Interesting. What's Curry?
Where's he at? As of February 10th, Steph Curry is plus 1,300.
Interesting. Okay. So the thing for me about Luka, obviously I talked about usage rate, blah 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 blah. Mavs aren't even in the playoff right now. They're 11th. They're on a little winning streak.
The Warriors are only a half game in. the
Okay.
8th seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I finish?
You may.
Thank you. I will
Can I
take
pro-
with Kristaps healthy. I will say this um, disclaimer. I will take the Mavs roster over the Warriors right now.
100%.
I mean, Josh Richardson, because you have so the Warriors roster, you got Curry, Wiggins, Oubre, Draymond, Wiseman as their starting lineup. Incredibly athletic. The problem is Oubre can't shoot worth anything. Wiggins needs the ball in his hand. He doesn't really play well off ball. Same thing with Draymond. Obviously, Curry and Draymond know how to work well together. James Wiseman has had a lot of issues. He's like -10 on average every game in his plus minus. He's really raw. Obviously, he played 5 games in college. He's incredibly talented. He's going to be a bad dude in a couple years once he is no longer at any point in time even a second option on that floor. He's going to be a bad dude. But you look at you got Luka, who, as much as I trash on him, obviously he's incredibly talented. Like, again, same thing with Tom Brady. I'm not hating on him. I'm saying he shouldn't be a top
It's
5
his
MVP
third
candidate.
year, dude. Relax. He's a
Okay,
stud.
that doesn't, just because it's his third year doesn't mean he gets gifted into MVP conversation.
Yeah, dude. Well, look at his numbers. He's a stud. Anyway, continue with what your
Okay.
point was.
So Kristaps Porzingis, not only does he average like 2 blocks a game, the dude can shoot from three. Like, we all know how talented he is, but then as well, their bench is so much better than the Warriors' bench. Their bench, Jalen Brunson, really good. I believe he's a Stevenson guy. I want
He's
to
a
say.
Stevenson guy. Yeah, Stevenson
And then
guy. Villanova guy. And
so Jalen
yeah.
Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Willie Cauley-Stein would all start on the Warriors. So my point is, the Mavs have a lot better depth. Their roster as a whole, Josh Richardson is a really good 3-and-D wing. Dorian Finney-Smith, don't love him. Maxi Kleba, I love. The dude can flat out shoot, and he gets a bunch of rebounds too. The Warriors have been playing for the last 2 weeks. I believe yesterday was the first day they had James Wiseman back. The Warriors have been playing without a center for 2 weeks and still winning. The tallest dude on the floor was like 6'7", and they were still winning. So the Warriors have
That's
been
also
playing.
today's NBA too, though.
2 of the MVP candidates you have are centers, Bruce. What are you talking about? And the other dude is
Well, no, I'm
LeBron
saying
James, who's 6'10".
No, today's NBA or today's like NBA, like it's not a tall league. Like you don't play a 5 spot like that's like ridiculously tall. A lot of short. Look at the so
Look
for
at
example.
every top team. They have a dude who's 6'11" or 7 foot that can defend the paint.
Well, look at
I mean,
okay.
I
So
get that in concept. They have to
it's
be able
all
to
stretch.
shoot. They
It's
have to
all
be able to
stretch.
shoot.
It's all stretch.
Okay. Philadelphia 76ers, number 1 in the East, Joel Embiid. Bucks, Giannis, 6'11". Okay? KD
Yeah,
on
but
the
he
Nets,
doesn't play. But he
6'11".
doesn't play with his back to the basket. Don't come at me with
That
basketball
doesn't mean
stuff.
that, I'm talking about defending the paint. I'm talking about defending the paint. And
All right, go ahead.
Giannis posts up a lot.
Not really. No, he doesn't. His back to the basket game is nowhere near as good as his.
That doesn't mean he doesn't do it. I'm not saying that he should, but he does it. KD,
Fair.
back to the basket all the time. Celtics are the first team in the East that don't have somebody. Do you know how often they throw KD in the post and just clear out? All the time.
Go ahead.
Every day of the week. Celtics are the first team in the East that I don't see that has somebody who's a big dude in the middle. Okay? Then you go to the Jazz, Gobert. Lakers, Anthony Davis. Clippers are the first team that don't match that. Suns have DeAndre Ayton. Trailblazers don't. Spurs have Aldridge still, I think, and Jakob Poeltl. Nuggets, Jokic. Warriors, one of 2 teams
Raptors
in the West.
Hornets.
So, but if you want to look at the Warriors, they're one of the 2 teams in the top 8 right now. So 2 of 8 that don't have somebody I would be super comfortable with rolling out as my starting center in an NBA playoff game. So my point in all of this is, as a whole, Mavericks roster better. Of course, Luka's numbers are going to be higher. He plays more minutes. His usage rate is higher. But so this is where I will go to our.
I do like James. I do like James Wiseman.
Oh, I love James Wiseman. But this is where I'm going to go to our other highlights thing. I just want to look at like what Curry is doing, because I think Curry doing what he's been able to accomplish right now without really any help on his team. Kelly Oubre is a guy who nobody wanted. Wiggins, nobody wanted. Draymond, everybody thought was done. He's been a little slow so far. Wiseman, not playing well. Their bench, nobody knows their bench other than anyone who follows Golden State. Steph Curry's averaging 30 points a game. Okay? He's averaging 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal a game. He's shooting 48% from the field, 42 from 3, and 93 from free throw. He has the second highest true shooting in the league, only behind his brother, Seth Curry, who is currently shooting 50-50, 100, which is incredible, first of all. So Steph Curry has the second best true shooting in the league behind his brother. He is pretty much carrying the Warriors in playoff contention right now. Nobody thought they would be in playoff contention without Klay. He is absolutely carrying them right now. That, in my opinion, that at least with putting up the second highest points per game in the league on less usage rate than Luka, carrying his team to a playoff spot when nobody thought they would.
A half game.
Okay? The playoff includes 10th. So, Bruce, because if you make the playoffs by half a game, does it no longer count?
I'm just saying.
You're just being contrary today.
No, not at
Yes, you
all. I'm
are.
not being contrary at all.
So you don't think Steph Curry deserves any MVP conversation whatsoever? Do I think he should win
I
right now?
already
No.
I already said that he was barely not making my top 5. Like I was debating between him and Joel Embiid. I did say that.
In my opinion, I think Joel Embiid should be number 1.
Wow.
I think Joel Embiid should be number 1, and here's why. Sixers are number 1 in the East. Sixers are number 1 in the East. Nobody thought that was coming. Joel Embiid, barely over Nikola Jokic, is the most efficient player in the league right now. His PER, which is player efficiency rating, is 31.16. Jokic is 31.1. The dude's going off for 29, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block and a half per game.
Right. So I like the fact that you threw out the stats, so I'm gonna toss this out there. I like the maturity process that I've seen from Joel Embiid. I don't think that you don't see the same jackassian ways that you previously saw in some of his younger years, and I think he gets it. I think when he had Jimmy Butler on the team, I actually liked that team when Butler was on that team because I think Butler did a really good job of he added a dynamic that they were missing at that time, but unfortunately they weren't able to go where they needed to go or go where they wanted to go. But if Joel Embiid was playing, and this is the most obvious statement of the evening, if Joel Embiid was playing the way he's playing now when they had Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler wouldn't have called him the things that he called him, and I think that they would have won that. They would have beaten the Raptors, and they would have ended up winning the NBA championship.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That wouldn't have gone to a Game 7.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
All right, so who's number? So you said he's number 1. Are you gave me 1, and it was like a 1 and done. Like
yeah. So I'll say Embiid 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Embiid, Jokic.
Okay.
Because another thing I want to give context to, the reason I will put LeBron James 3 is because he's playing with another top 5 player in the NBA. So both of them are really, I don't know if you've watched any Lakers games, probably not, but they're just coasting right now. And I don't take that against him, but in my opinion,
he's a vet, baby. He's a vet.
Right, and it's his 18th year in the league. The fact that he's putting up 26, 9, and 6 or something ridiculous like that, absolutely he deserves credit for that 100%. But my point being, when you play with another superstar, that inherently takes away some of your value. Embiid's doing it without another superstar, right? Jokic is doing it without another superstar. They are the superstar on their teams. LeBron has another superstar, so I think that takes away a little bit. I still think he's number 3. They're the number 2 team in the West. The Jazz are playing incredible. Mitchell and Gobert are going off, which I love from Gobert because he got a lot of crap for being the reason that the U.S. shut down, which obviously isn't true. It would have happened anyway with somebody else. It's unfortunate it happened in the way it did. But he obviously, I enjoy seeing him get some success. He's one of the best defensive players the league has had for the last like 5 years. So I love seeing that success. But again, unfortunately, because LeBron has Anthony Davis with him, that just inherently takes away some of his value.
Right. I agree with that.
And would they be a playoff
agree.
team without Anthony Davis? 100%.
Yes.
There's no freaking question about that. But I just can't put him 1 because of that. So I put him 3. Then I will put Curry 4 and then Kevin Durant 5, only because of the same reason. Obviously, there were some points in time where Durant was by himself when Kyrie was gone and Harden wasn't there yet. But now Harden and Kyrie are actually taking more shots on average than Kevin Durant. Again, would they still be a playoff team with Kevin Durant? Yes, but they would not be as high as they are right now. So I think the guys adding the most value to their team are Embiid and Jokic. I'd be fine flipping either one of them right now, but because Embiid is number 1 in the East, I give him the number 1 right now.
So to continue my contrarian ways this evening.
Yes.
I totally agree with you with the superstar comment that you made, taking away a little bit of that shine. Joel Embiid is playing with an all-star, though. Not a superstar, but an all-star in Ben Simmons.
Yes.
So that was my only contrarian point to what you were saying. So
yeah.
I actually do agree with you. I do agree with you. I was just being a jackass.
And so is Jokic. I think Jamal Murray should be an all-star. I don't know.
Right.
The voting came out today. I don't know if Murray is on those rankings. Can we just real quick? Freaking Caruso is number 10. What in the world, bro?
I haven't seen the latest All-Star voting stuff, but all I know is Zach LaVine is not like on the top, and he is one of the he has improved in every single statistical category this year.
He's shooting incredible this year.
Dude, he's doing amazing this year. And if fans don't see that, and if NBA fans don't see that, Chicago sports fans don't see that.
He's number 5 in the Eastern Conference
5 now?
right now. Yeah.
Okay. I think he was 5 last week too. But still, it should be higher in my opinion.
Zach LaVine right now. Let me go.
Well, while you're looking for that, the weekend is right around the corner, and there are plenty of things going on in Central Illinois to keep you and the family busy. Whether you're just visiting or you call the heart of Illinois home, discover Peoria. The Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau has dropped us some information about a few weekly discoveries you won't want to miss. The Chocolates Tour. What was that? Chili Coffee? Chili Coffee. Chili Coffee. That's new. That's new to me. You know what Chili Coffee is? I don't know what Chili Coffee is. Let's find out. If you didn't get the opportunity to go out to Morton last weekend for the chocolate tours out there, you can still satisfy your sweet tooth at Chili Coffee's Chocolate Tour on Saturday. To help you discover all the delicious treats along with historic 2nd Street in downtown Chillicothe, you can purchase a $10 punch card. Tickets are limited, so make sure you stop by the Chillicothe Chamber of City Hall to get yours. Wow. So Chillicothe, that's a new one. That sounds like it sounds like a seasoning. I apologize to anybody who's watching from Chillicothe. I doubt that's gonna happen.
That's okay. Number 2, we have Galentine's Day art and charcuterie board. Do you know what a charcuterie board is, Bruce?
I don't, but please.
We're going to find out. Charcuterie board at Art of the Bodega. Spend time with your gal pals this Saturday night at the Art of the Bodega for the Galentine's Day event. If you are busy and can't get together as often as you would like to, so call her, tag her, send her a message, and let her know that Saturday night is girls' night, Bruce. $10 reservation goes towards a mini personal charcuterie board with meats, cheeses, and sweets, along with beverages that will be available for purchase. Hold up your beverages.
Speaking of beverages.
There we go. You can choose any art project you want to create. Pottery, canvas painting, the studio is yours. Prices do vary, but most people spend around $30 while they are there. Save your spot for you and your pals over at Discover Peoria's event page.
Love it.
So the last thing I want to do is give credit where credit is due to Zach LaVine.
Nice.
28 points per game this season. 52% from the field. 42% from 3, which is only 0.4% below Steph Curry, shooting 86 from the line and throwing out there 5 assists, 5 rebounds a game, a steal, and half a block. His player efficiency rating is 28, which is pretty darn... Actually, no. He's not very efficient. He's at 22.
He's not very efficient.
But that's okay. Yeah, Giannis is 28. He's right below him. So LaVine has not been very efficient, but, I mean, the jump he has made this year, doing very well. Bulls are not
Real.
exactly in the place that they would want to be in. But
They're a game out.
yeah, so Levine is not, elevating them to playoff contention yet, but the season is still very young. We still have about 2/3 of the way to go. So if I'm a Bulls fan watching that, I am pretty happy about what I see there.
His minutes load is actually pretty high this year too.
Is it?
He's averaging 35.6 minutes per game. Yeah.
That is pretty high. Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't. They have nobody else that's scoring right now. Although I will say, last night they did break the record for most threes made.
I saw that
by a team in Bulls history.
Yeah.
Him and Kobe White went off.
Still not Trae Young, but that's okay.
I know. And I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. Yeah. So, I do want to get your opinion on this.
Yes.
There has been a lot of sports talk in the Chicagoland area, obviously, because every day there's sports talk in the Chicagoland area. What a dumbass comment.
Adds up.
But got to be aware of yourself. Got to be aware. It's time out.
Bruce needs a drink.
I need sleep is what I need. But as I was saying, there's been a lot of talk about the potential of bringing Lonzo Ball to Chicago. Peace out, dog. Now that we know,
if I'm a Bulls fan and
I
hear one, if I hear one word of Lonzo Ball coming into Chicago,
Lonzo Ball, right? All right.
Nope. Bye, guys. See ya.
That's gonna be a good cut right there.
Get out of here.
But no, legit, I don't want that. I really don't. I don't want the circus. I don't want the craziness. I don't want to hear about his dad saying anything stupid. He'll have two sons. Frankly, his son.
You've heard what his dad has said about Michael Jordan. Heaven forbid he goes to the Bulls.
No, I know he's an idiot, but he's Ric Flair of like real life. That's all it is. It's all a game. It's all shenanigans. He just puts it on there. Like I can do the same thing right now. I can make some rant. Like I could argue with you and be contrarian and make like absolutely dumbass points, and they would call me Stephen A. Smith. But oh, it's terrible.
I've been called on TikTok the last few days. It's okay.
That's fair. But yeah, and some of your Brady points. But
love you too.
yeah. But like I just don't want it. I don't think he's not a good shooter. He does see the floor well. I will say that, but it's just not the dynamic that you need right now on this basketball team. You do need a point guard, a legitimate point guard, because I don't think Kobe White's a legitimate point guard.
He's more of a 2, but he's a little small to be a 2. It's a weird.
He's an off guard. He is, but they're trying to get him. They're trying to get him to be a point guard. But
I'd be fine with him being my 6th man. If he was your 6th man, I think that's something you'd be okay
awesome.
With.
I love the acquisition the Knicks made getting Derrick Rose back.
Oh yeah,
and the fact that Thibodeau is getting the band back together. He's got Taj Gibson now. He's got Derrick Rose now. Actually, I think Jimmy Butler put something out there joking around about it.
He was there. Well, because he was there the other day.
Okay,
the other day.
I heard it on the radio or something like that. I don't even remember. But I actually like the fact that I like what Thibs is doing. I like the fact that Derrick Rose. He actually was quoted in saying that Thibs is the only coach that he feels believed in him.
Really?
Through thick and thin.
Wasn't he with Thibs in Minnesota too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
and obviously in Chicago, Minnesota, and now New York.
Wow. He's just following the man around.
He went back to New York. I wonder if he's going to wear number 25 again.
He is. He already played.
Oh, well, shows you how much basketball I've been watching the past few days.
It's okay. Well, you've been watching basketball, just not professional basketball.
Oh, my God. I have a comment, but I can't make it just in case.
I'll say it. It's nowhere close to professional basketball.
There you go.
Well, Bruce, we're about out of time. We have a lot of exciting things coming that hopefully will come to fruition. Yes. If anybody is still here hanging around, let us know what you thought of our little highlights that we're messing around with. I think it's just a fun little thing to kind of add some flair.
Oh, great. And don't worry, there's going to be some Coach Bruce takes in there eventually. It's just the fact of the matter is my dumbass doesn't have enough time in a day to throw the highlights up there.
That's okay. That's okay. I got you.
Nice to know.
Maybe we can do some chatting this weekend and maybe get some so that I can put together highlights for you ahead. I'll make some Zach LaVine highlights for you next week.
I don't need Zach LaVine highlights. You know what we should do highlights of? We should do highlights of me being amazing.
So that we can watch, because those highlights don't have sound. So we can just watch you talk while you're talking. Is that what you want,
Yes.
Bruce?
That's what I want. I want to watch me talk while I'm talking.
I don't even want to watch you talk while you're talking,
I
let
don't
alone
even
watch
wanna
you
watch
talk while I'm watching you talk.
Sometimes I don't even want to hear me talk while I'm watching me talk about talking about watching me talk.
Good talk.
I think we should end that on that.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. Amazing viewership as always. So thank you
Guys,
everybody for hanging
appreciate
out.
it.
Bruce, another good show. Congratulations
Yes,
to
sir.
you.
Congratulations to you. Maybe a new sponsor coming soon.
Possibly. We'll see. We'll be back next week. Won't be talking about Tom Brady. So sorry, chat. You'll be bored.
We'll be talking about Tom Brady. Hey, special guest coming on next week. My boy Eric. He's gonna talk to us about a little bit of baseball talk.
Yes.
Our baseball expert.
Yes, bringing him on
Yes,
because
sir.
spring training starts soon. Pitchers and catchers report next week sometime. So I think
Yes,
the
sir.
A's will have already reported by the time we're on air next.
Yep.
So exciting things coming. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you later.
See you guys.